Afternoon, guys. Standard as always. Just going to do a video about what I'm looking for going into next week. I'm going to do top down on all of them. I haven't really looked at the markets on Friday that much. So let's check it out. So first of all, dollar, we can see we are bearish, still potentially waiting for this low to get run. Haven't run it yet. Doesn't mean we are potentially going to run it, but I do want to see move back down at least into 12,700 before potentially doing anything else. We did shift somewhat out of the momentum here, but really kind of what I'm looking at this is our structure so far. This is what I'm looking at it as. This is our break. So now this is only confirmed high low. If lower low, sorry, if we actually confirm this. So if we do, then this is going to be our confirmed lower high. Then we can look for a pullback and either go short or actually either go up and take a dive. But for the actual first point of interest I'm really looking for is that 12,700. We can actually map out that psychological level. 12,700. Cool. So this is our psych level. This is kind of what we're looking for to see if we can get a trade or look for a test back into. Now, we have had all of the mitigations and raids and all of that good stuff across here. Let's just use this into here. And then from this 4 hourly, we are looking for potentially a test across here. If we do go on the, let's check it out. I think it was on the, yeah, okay. So on the 12 hour, obviously we had all of this big zone and we are pretty much just looking for that wick to get tested. So we do have this, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to use the whole wick of this 12 hour just to give me a little bit more range. But on the 4-5 hour, you can see we are kind of just looking for these to get run. So whether we're going to come down, mitigate, run all of these, and then actually come back down, that could be a potential. Or if we are actually going to go 1, 2, 3, maybe look for that fourth one and then actually have that run. But for the time being, we have had 1, 2, and this is our third drive into liquidity. We do still have rest in liquidity on the form of highs. So anywhere kind of potentially back down into this 30-minute zone, that's going to be nice. You can see we've got a nice imbalance, and this is our lower time frame accumulation. Sorry, so we have raid 1, raid 2, and this is actually raiding all of this trend line in here, but we can just use this. This is our third, and then we did actually start coming up. We didn't mitigate out of anything, but we did actually start coming back up. For me personally, I don't class this as a high in the market. I do want to see if that's going to get run. We did shift intermediate structures, but this isn't really a full like breaker structure. So what I'm really looking for is just I'm looking for price to come back down into this 30-minute zone and go up. So that means we're kind of looking for anything US dollar based to kind of be looking for pullbacks and then potential shorts. So that is what I'm looking at for the dollar. Obviously, if price really does break and hold, and I'm talking like breaking, holding, closing above, closing below, that's then when I look for a pullback and then some shorts back down into some levels in and around here. So now we've got that off the table. That's dollar. US 30. Again, I'm not going to do a massive breakdown on this because I've done this so many times, but basically we've had the raids, we've had the raids. This is our overall higher time frame distribution. And here, this is our big distribution. This is our break of structure in here. So our actual major swing points in this are here. So as long as you don't break above this high, then we should be good for shorts. But I do think we could get a potential pullback and then a potential shift in momentum. So we have now come up we did actually, okay, so we didn't. So I was really expecting, or I really thought we were gonna get this small high run. Right. I thought we were gonna run this. We didn't yet, but that still doesn't mean that we couldn't still not do it. If we take the wick from this guy and we drag it across, you can see some people call this support and resistance. This is basically just supply and demand. It's just a fancy way of saying support and resistance. So you can see we have supply, which then got broken and then turned into a demand zone. And now we're actually holding and playing off this overall demand. So really what we can kind of go into is we can go into this move. I was actually looking off either the 30-minute or the 15. I did catch an entry of the 15 in here. So you can see we had this wick, but I think we either could do a couple things. I think we could run it and then come back up, or I think we could run the highs and then come back down lower. So it's really going to be quite interesting to see what does happen now. We have this little guy up here on the hourly. And what you can also identify, it's the same as what I always say. 1, 2, 3. This is that fourth raid of liquidity. And then we actually start breaking structures and shifting now. Even though this is a shift, what I am kind of really going for and looking at is this is our major low. So if we break below this point, that is going to be our major, because even though this is a structure zone within here, that's fine. But I don't class that as a break, and I'm not classing this as a break. The only reason why I'm not classing those as a break is because on the 4-hour time frame, we didn't actually break above it. And you can see on the 4-hourly here, this high, we actually broke above this and we stayed above this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for like basically like a whole day, we were above price. And again, here you can see there's no break above any of these highs. So that's telling me that this is potentially, as you can see, just that buy to sell, which is just that kind of manipulation move. Again, you can break it down and scale it down a little bit more into a 30-minute. I personally wouldn't be looking to trade straight off this. I would want to wait for a little bit more confirmation, whether that be a raid of all of this. We have that breaker structure, we have that raid, and then we just look for a pullback into the zone that caused that break in that raid, and then we can potentially start heading back down into these levels, or even potentially on the 4-hourly. We do still have an Asian low, which has been taking me ages to, or taking the market ages to potentially take out. What was it? So I think this was, okay, no, so this is a New York low, and we do still have a lot of lows resting below here. So I think if anything is going to happen, it's going to happen quite sharp and quite quickly. But we are and still in this range. So until I see something dramatic happen out of this area, I'm not really going to be doing anything too much. Obviously, if we break above, we break the structure above, and we still have all of this risk and liquidity, that is amazing. I'm going to be looking for shorts from this level to take it back down lower. And that would potentially mean, if we're looking for like potentials of things, again, looking for that shorter than long. But the one thing which is kind of making me a bit like unsure is obviously they do correlate positively and negatively, but we can also see that as potential as US30. Same with this, we have that same zone waiting for it to come up to then go lower. On US dollar, you can see we're just waiting for that to come up and then go lower, but that is actually just that 30-minute zone. So we very much well could see that, and that's nice to see. It's nice to see that correlation playing out. So definitely going to be looking for this zone. Let's go shorts. I would probably only have my target just into here, just for the as the target one. So 42 pips. and then you could probably really hold that down to like an 80 pip gain in and around here. Now the question is, obviously we can't tell the future. Is this going to raid one more time and just take out that previous high, or are we just going to stick with it and actually kind of just continue and do what we were originally going to do anyway? So it's going to be quite interesting to see what does happen around these two levels. But if we do come down, we have that raid, and then prices start and come back up, then I'll look for buys here to take it back up to the top side. If we don't and we just open, then I'm going to be looking for sales back down, start taking out some of these lows, and the low of 33,200, 33,300 is going to be my kind of overall target and objective. NAS, again, same situation with NAS. We are, well, let's get back up. So I'm still waiting for this move to potentially get met. Let me just delete everything. So on the daily, well, daily time frame, we literally just ran this high really quick. But I also do think potentially going into the 3-day and the weekly, we definitely could see a pullback still into this zone. And you can see we do still have some daily demand down in here. But really and truly, it's going to be, are we going to pull back to then go and take that long run, or are we going to run to then come back into the short? Now you can see daily time frame price is lining up with our 50 EMA, which is nice to see. I do want to see if we could get a little bit of a closure or look for a zone back into here. What we could very well see is if price is doing kind of this mitigation thing, we could just roll over and then spring and see this as kind of our correction before the big impulse. That very much well could be a scenario. We did trade back up into a small level right in here, and this was nice because we had that raid, this raid to close this gap. We closed out that old high, and then we started breaking structure, and we didn't break above this zone. And I think it was into kind of like a last 15-minute, was it? Yeah. Into this last 15-minute zone. So from here now, price created kind of equal lows, but not. And then we did actually start to finally break that. So the actual whole sponsor of the move is, in fact, up here. And I would not be surprised if price would to potentially come to trade back up into here, maybe into, do we have anything else or two? Maybe into this 3-hour, we could have a run and then a continuation lower. I do have a couple zones first mapped out. And here, this is our zone. And here, we traded into this. This actually filled imbalance, but we didn't actually close it. Again, 30 minutes, same sort of scenario. On the 4-hour, nothing crazy. 2, 1. I'm just going to clip down. 45-minute there was, but nothing really too mad. Again, same scenario as what we're looking for. Just looking for a pullback and then a continuation. Kind of same with US 30 as well. Looking for that pullback and then a continuation. So let's see. We do have a zone down here, which I was going to see if was going to get met. We haven't yet so far, but that doesn't mean that we still couldn't. I personally don't think this is really going to do anything. We could come back down and have a raid and then go lower, but what I really think is potentially going to happen is we're going to just have that pop up and then actually have that run lower and see if we can actually start taking out this market closure low. And you can see 1 a.m. going to the Asia market. So that's going to be really interesting to see. So if I look, well, hopefully we'll look for shorts off of these zones. So 12,700, it's going to kind of be like a prime zone for me, and kind of what I'm looking at the moment. We are kind of just hovering and trickling around that 13,000. Again, you can see psychological levels. Let's go. Whoops. 12,000. you can see this has been a point in price where we have kind of stalled and stayed around, closed and things. So this is a major crucial area, but this is the demands on the daily, which I'm kind of really looking for to see if we can get a full raid of that. So I am going to be waiting to see if we could just get some basic pullbacks and then some shorts. We are shifting intermediate structures. If I pull a fib, we go on that 45-minute. So that 45-minute open is lining up quite nicely. But the hourly also is kind of the major zones that I am going to be looking for to take this thing lower. So we are kind of in a little bit of a range at the moment. We did just sweep this low, but I do think we could run that Asian. So I am looking for just basic pullbacks and then continuations lower. AUD/USD, I haven't looked at anything too crazy. I'm really, to be honest, just going to leave this for the time being. We do have some zones up here. I was looking for a trade off this before, but I do think we could trade a little bit deeper into this. We've got liquidity in the lows and we've got some in the highs. We've got a London low, got a New York high. So I am really just going to wait and see what's happening with this. At the moment, it's just really boring. We are just in this kind of correction phase at the moment. So I'm just really waiting to see if we could just kind of get some shorts back down lower. Overall targets, I've said this a number of times, overall targets is going to be these two POIs, if not deeper. This is a massive call, but I'm just going to leave it out there. Even potentially back down into 63. But first of all, I'm going to be looking for that 6,500 level overall. Basically, overall targets, higher time frame is the 65,000. That's going to be my major kind of price, which I'm going to be looking for to see if we can get the trade back into. Euro USD, not sorry, Euro pound. Okay, so we've come up and we didn't take out this high. We don't need to take out that high, obviously, but we could come up and take that high. Now we do have a major supply zone, which is here. We have tested it once, but if we just run in to use our fib, check out the 50% of this range. 50% is actually where this imbalance is. So I would not even be surprised if we had some sort of run back up to take out these highs and then actually started heading back down. I'm not seeing really this as a top in the market. Yes, if you did catch a trade off this would have been cool. This would have been valid. Nice entry. We ran the highs. We broke structure. They're looking for a pullback into that zone. Amazing. We got that. That's a very valid zone. We do still have zones lower down, which are targets. But we kind of just traded into this wick. Now, this is an accumulation and it is valid because I was looking for price to actually come on and play off that. But I was kind of looking to see if it was going to take it out. And I think the only thing that was really kind of protecting it was, okay, so we have this 1 minute up here. I think there was a nice clean 3 minutes, go for, check out the 5. Okay, so even this 4 minute imbalance. So if price has actually tested one of these zones, then, well, let's check it out. Okay, cool. So we tested that 4 minute zone, which was mapped out. So, oh no, sorry, we actually tested that 1 minute, which came all the way back in to this first accumulation. So we can take this second one off. So price actually tested, you can see we wicked it and then we dropped back down. And now price then has come back into this open of the 30 minute. And did we test anything? I think I can see we must have tested off this or off that 4 minute, which is just a little bit deeper to here. Let's see if which one we hit. Okay, cool. So we hit that 5 minute. And then price started kind of continuing and going a bit lower. So now it's really going to see, are we actually going to continue with this run? Obviously pullbacks to then come and start taking out all of this. A lot of liquidity down here and eventually these lows down here. Do we have anywhere where we could pull back into? I mean, maybe into this 30-minute, but really and truly, I'm not really going to be too focused on that just because this didn't actually cause a breaker structure. It didn't cause anything of any great excitement. So if we do open on Monday, we get that confirmed breaker structure, that's going to be, okay, cool. I can look to trade up into this and then we can take this down lower. That is what I'm looking at for euro. If not, and we do run and have one more run, then I'll be looking for the distributions and the shorts lower. So two potential outcomes on those. Euro USD, nothing really too glamorous and crazy, if I'm honest. There was a small area and a small trade I was looking for down here, just into the New York high. That was nice. Just a quick 1 to 4.8. But really and truly, again, not really looking for anything too crazy. I haven't really traded Euro USD in a while. Just been in this discussing range. I think it's boring when trade pairs do this. So I usually just like sit and wait. So Euro USD, I'm just gonna sit and wait, nothing really too glamorous. And gold. Gold, nothing again really too crazy. We do have this 4-hourly zone, which I'm going to take the whole of this imbalance. And we could definitely look for shorts down into that zone, 15-minute, 10-minute, 5-minute. Okay, cool. So we do have kind of this big major zone. Whoops. So we do have this major zone, which actually tested into this. So hopefully it's just going to be the case of seeing something like this. That could potentially be a possibility that we could see. I'm not going to rule that out. I'm equally not ruling out that price could just break above and actually start attacking some of this Asian liquidity and some of these highs. And overall targets, I do think we could definitely trade into 270. I think we could definitely go run and take that high. But when we're actually really looking at things, we had this wick high. We did actually sweep some of these lows. Everything in here so far, did we? Okay, so we came into this imbalance in here. We then came into this demand. All of this major zone is technically demand, but you can see we came down. We actually generated equal lows, which isn't nice to see. But we did generate them, and you can see it was this last sell to buy, which caused this breaker structure. So this is in fact the only demand which you should be looking to buy from, because this is the major one which caused this the kind of like that significant breaker structure. Now we have this low and we are actually slowly breaking below it, but we haven't given a full break and a full closure yet, and that's always something that I do want to see. Could very well look to just take a small position off here. That would be a 81 pip stop loss. Oof. 62. Yeah, so maybe for me personally, maybe not. But again, that would potentially still be valid. We tested supply. Tested supply. Breaker structure. So now we're just looking for that zone that caused that breaker structure. Let's go fib. Simple fib. Cool. So you can see where that 4-hour zone is is looking quite nice and lining up pretty exactly with where this 4 hour is, this 5 minutes. So this actually really could be a nice little potential. Just taking shorts down. You could even have first targets here, or you can have second targets down here. That is only a 1 to 4. That's fine. But saying that that does still look like a valid entry for me. There is no real run or anything down in here. This low didn't cause anything. We just came and mitigated. We swept these highs and then we started rolling over. So any potential longs back up into this level for shorts, and then we can take out this rest and running piece of liquidity. So if any of you guys got any questions, please let me know. Feel free to fire away and I will help everyone as much as I can. If I don't reply back to you as soon as you'd like, I do apologize. I will get back to you, I promise. But like I said, if you guys got any questions, please let me know. Feel free to fire away and I will help everyone as much as I can. All right, guys.